Hey everybody, welcome back to another crypto day here in good old New Zealand. It is currently the 7th of September. It's a Saturday, 12 p.m. We're at the future, right? We're in the future, bringing you crypto. We're going to be covering our usual topics today, the crypto results for Friday, and of course the Saturday as well, and the stock market results for Friday. So that's going to be fun to talk about. Then we're going to shift into Pulsechain. Actually, we're going to shift into Pulsechain, and of course we're going to shift into Titan-X ecosystem, and that's probably going to be our biggest section today because we've got so many things to talk about. We're going to talk about INFERNO Cycle 7. We're going to talk about HYDRA Whitepaper. We're going to talk about Titan Legends and their token drop on Monday. And then we're going to jump into briefly wrap up with Zen at the end, expecting X1 chain. Looks like it's getting closer and closer all the time. So we're going to get into all that. You're after the big alphas, the big 10Xs, 100Xs. These are some of the projects that will probably deliver it to you on different time frames. So we're going to get into all that. If you haven't joined our strategy club, the link's in the video description of that, $35 a month, multi-chain opportunities. So you find out a lot more details. We're dropping intel in there constantly. And we got a really great educated community in there as well. So definitely want to join up the strategy club there at the moment in Discord. All right, let's go. Let's see who's in the house there. We've got Brian, our community leader. Hey, Brian, what's up, folks? Big shout out to you. Really do like that house, Brian. I really did. It was really, really nice. Very homely. I really like that one. Brian knows what I'm talking about. We've got Hedgehog in the house. Woohoo! Yeah, get excited, man. It's still looking good. Now, we had a bit of a pullback overnight. We're going to talk about that, but we're getting a bounce as well. So who cares, right? The bounce is here. What's that? Look up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman. Hashtag me. So that's pretty cool. I like that. And there is Brian's link to the Discord, to the strategy club. Way better than Wookiees. So definitely join up today and become a part of the elite crew in our Discord. How about that? All right, let's get in it without further ado. Let's start with the stock market and see how Friday ended. Well, Friday was down, right? US stocks tumbled after a weaker August job gains trigger fresh economic worries. Typical. This is pretty standard. So, labor data worse than expected, and therefore, the market's worried about recession or a medium to hard landing. And so they start selling off a little bit. Pretty classic. Seen it time and time again. Dow Jones is down 1%, 410 points to 40,345. That's the top 30 industrials in the United States. The S&P 500 down 1.7%, 95 points to 5,408. And the NASDAQ, with all the tech companies in it, is down 2.5%, 433 points to 16,694. So a pretty big move down. And for the week, I think, we're probably, depending on the indices, probably up maximum up to maybe 5-6% down for the week, if I remember rightly, on some of the max indices. So, pretty decent little correction there. We've got the US dollar at the moment is just up slightly at 101.15. Let's jump over to the commodities. West Texas at the moment down 1.5%. Brent oil down 1.25%. Both down about $1. West Texas at $68 and Brent oil just under $72. Gold just easing off a little bit too, down 0.6%, $16 to 2,526. We are expecting a pivot, remember, in the interest rates. And, of course, then a devaluation of the US dollar, arguably. And then the commodities should start rallying, right? So silver there down 2.9%. So big move there, 83 cents to $28.26, $28.26 there. Jump into the big economic news. Non-farm payrolls there come below estimates. US economy added fewer jobs than anticipated in August, but rose from a sharply revised July figure, according to the Labor Department, that could factor into the Federal Reserve's next policy decision. Remember, that's coming up on the 18th September. And non-farm payrolls came in at 142,000 last month, up from a heavily downwardly revised mark of 89,000 in July. Economists had called for a reading of 164,000, up from the initial July mark of 114,000. Friday's release also showed the US unemployment rate at 4.2% compared to July's of 4.3%. So actually it was an improvement there, but this was in line with estimates. On a monthly basis, average hourly earnings growth also ticked up 0.4% after contracting by 0.1% in July. So that's good news for the employed, but a bit more wage inflationary pressure there. the softness in the labour market is enough to give the Fed cover to ease up on monetary policy, but we do not currently see signs of recession that would necessitate a major or significant number of cuts. So they're still expecting 25 basis points by the end of the month there. And of course, we're seeing Treasury yields move around for that. So let's jump over to the Fed rate monitor, see where that's at, just to wrap things up for our stock market economic news. 1 week in 4 days and 17 hours to go until the 18th of September meeting there. So that's coming up there. 70% of the market is expecting a 25 basis point cut from 5.5 down to 5.25% on the federal funds rate. That has increased. So that's over 2/3 now. That's where we are at the moment. All right. So that's economic news. Let's jump in. Should we just have a quick look at the economic news for next week? So let's see. Tools here. Economic calendar. So here we are on investing.com, right? So it's good for data. It's a terrible left-leaning platform, but it's good for the economic data that we're after. So there we go. We'll give it a break for a moment. Next week is we've got core CPI data. Oh, that's going to be huge for the. We had basically labor data this week. Remember, the Fed is trading away employment for inflation. We've got inflation data next week. How about that on the 11th September? Only 7 days before the Fed meeting. How about that? So this is going to play heavily into that as well. Core CPI data is coming out. And what else? Also on Thursday, we've got initial jobless claims and the PPI as well. So that's going to be important there for August. So that's Producers Price Index. That's kind of the wholesale price level there. So we've got the retail price level, CPI, and the producer price level on Thursday. So Wednesday, Thursday, more economic data and potentially more volatility in the stock market there. We shall see 2 weeks of it. Amen. And hopefully we get a bit of a reprieve on the interest rates. We shall see. All right, so that is the economic data. Meanwhile, the crypto market's it's falling pretty hard itself. Bitcoin there, $54,235, down 3.1%. Bitcoin dominance just broke below 55%, now at 54.82%. Bitcoin dominance. Ethereum there down 5.74%, 2,237. You can see it's big dark red. Anything in dark red is greater than 5%, right? So anything in light pink is below 5% loss. Everything else, BNB down 2.7% at $490. So it's broken the $500 mark. ADA is down 2.7%. It's disappointing on ADA. I kind of really like Charles Hoskinson, but down it's at 31.6 cents, and the Chang Fork really didn't revive it at this stage. Obviously, with a down market. Solana there down 3%, $125. Obviously, that is coming up. There's some new technology stuff adding to Solana, but of course, X1 chain is going to be forking Solana with all the latest and greatest technology and economics. So it could be put a lot of pressure on Solana, I would say. XRP down 4%, 52 cents. Tron pretty much down 1%. What else is looking pretty interesting? Litecoin down 4.47% at the moment. Those are kind of our majors, and that's where that's at the moment. You can see that Dogecoin, the meme coin, we're going to get to that at the moment, but that's down 5.7%. So that's a big move for the Dogecoin leverage, right? Let's jump to Bitcoin on the hourly. You can see that we were up pretty much at 56,000, almost 57,000, and then we got trounced overnight. We came all the way back down to 52,500. That's a pretty heavy move, right? Pretty heavy move. Let's quickly get the ruler out and have a quick look at that on the hourly on Bitcoin. This is on Coinbase. So yeah, a pretty big move. What time am I on the hourly there? So that's down about 7.8% there. So it's a pretty big move on that one. All right, pretty dramatic. Is that the right chart? It says hourly there. So yeah, let's go to the daily and just make sure this is set up properly. Let's go to daily. We still haven't got a death cross, but we're getting close, man. We're getting close. So we got a brand new candle today, but this is yesterday's candle. Yeah, we had a high of 57,000 down to 52,500. What a candle that is, right? So 57. I mean, that's almost $4,500 of a decrease, but we're bounced back somewhat. 54 there. So thank goodness for that. We haven't got a death cross yet, but we're teetering on it, and September is the time when we might actually cross it. Hopefully it's going to be short-lived so that we can get that pivot out of the interest rates, right? So that's coming up here, right? So on the 18th, this line here. Hopefully we pivot out of that, right? And might be a week or two after that, maybe. Maybe the US election is going to be the pivot, but I just definitely think October is normally Uptober. September is Rectember there. Yeah, let's see what happens with this cross. So we're going to get a death cross. We shall see. Still picking October for the beginning of the Christmas rally, right up to 100K Bitcoin. We're still holding up at 54K, so it's not like 100K is not in view of that within a couple of months. You know how crypto works. All right, so let's go to the Ethereum there and have a quick look at that on the hourly. Obviously got shattered as well. Went from $2,400 all the way down to $2,150. Currently up at $2,230 at the moment. Let's look at the daily on the old Ethereum. We had our death cross on here, so 13th of August, and we have gone down since then. So death cross played out pretty nicely there, and we're still going through September. Obviously, all the same economic data. We've got interest rate pivots on the 18th, and we've got the US election, and then more interest rate pivots in November. 11 days away from that interest rate pivot, as we say. Let's go to the Bitcoin runes. Now, obviously, when Bitcoin forked this year, we had the Bitcoin runes protocol launch, and that was fantastic. So that's been going pretty well. Now, obviously, it really is a leverage play on Bitcoin. It's the first time we're ever going to have meme coins and other projects, other DeFi projects on the actual DeFi projects on the actual Bitcoin. And so runes is doing pretty well. Had a big rally. It's sort of tapered off with Bitcoin sentiment. But at the moment, we've got Dog Go to the Moon with the one we're picking for the win, potentially to be the biggest meme coin in the world eventually. Needs to get the tier 1s listings. Another petition was going from another big influencer today to Binance. So hopefully those influencer pressure Binance to get Dog listed. If Dog gets listed, then all the runes will probably get picked up, in terms of the sentiment, and the values will re-rate. But at the moment, Dog is sitting doing pretty well. The number of holders are going up all the time by hundreds, if not thousands. We are now up at 86,874. So we really are in this accumulation zone again with thousands of new holders. That's what's really exciting me about that. And of course, new influencers coming on board that can potentially influence the Binance and get that big listing. And then Dog Go to the Moon will literally go to the moon and get that big parabolic run that people are after, right? 100x potentially. Maybe the first. Maybe it can take out Dodge. Maybe it can be the first $100 billion meme coin. We shall see. But so far, everything is going kind of cool at the moment with the accumulation. So Dog Go to the Moon, a fantastic entry at the moment. So let's have a quick look at the total all-time here on Sats. So we're on Magic Eden, number 1 DEX for runes and ordinals. Number 2 is, I think, Unisat. So there we go. You can see we had a big, nice little start. We came back down to about 3.4 sats. Had a big rally, almost up to $1 billion without the tier 1 exchanges. So it shows how good it is. Got up to 13.1 sats, and we've all come all the way down. At the moment, we're in the accumulation zone, and Bitcoin's coming down. Of course, there's a leverage play, but the bullish thing is that hundreds and thousands of people are being added to the holder list, and that's a really, really good thing. Remember, there's no VCs in this. This was airdrop to early BRC20 and holders, creators. So it was pretty cool from that via the runestone on the ordinals there, ordinals, I should say. So this will probably the next expectation with this. If Bitcoin heads to 100K, we'll see a big parabolic on this. This is what we're expecting in the chart there. All right, let's jump over to meme coins overall. We can see at the moment Dogecoin down pretty heavy for the week, almost 9%, down at 30.5 billion. I remember when we first started talking about this, it was up at 23.5 billion. Here we are down at 13, so it's shedded 10 billion with the sentiment. That's crypto for you folks. That is just the way it goes. SHIB is down. Everything is down pretty much. Pepe is down almost 14% to 2.8 billion, down 6% for the day. Let's see what else is going. Yeah, so the big mover down today is Dogecoin. Finally capitulated, was acting pretty stable, now down 6%. So a big part of that weekly is down on Dogecoin. Let's scroll down. Yeah, look at this. I mean, Brett on base chain down 18%. Dogs on Ton Network down 18% for Telegram. Solana on Popcat on Solana down 14.4%. What else we got going here? Mog is down 16% for the week. But of course, we got here Dog here is sitting at 9.5% on runes, 248 million market, which is still holding up pretty well. And what we're seeing is hundreds of holders getting on this, and every day. I think one day we might have had 1,000 recently. It was pretty crazy. So Dog is going to move. That's the one I'm picking for the win. Total market 1.9 trillion, down 4%. Can you believe it? of 24-hour volume at just under 100 billion, up 60%. So good on the volume, but on the downside, this is the way it goes. A bit of a bounce at the moment. So that is pretty much it for the crypto update. We're going to get into Pulsechain next. Let's see who else has jumped in the chat, though. What's coming up is we're going to be doing Pulsechain next. Then we're going to get into Titanx, which is going to be quite a large coverage today. And we'll be doing a lot of coverage of Titanx moving forward, as well as Zen. We're going to wrap up with Zen, which is important because X1 chain is coming down the line, right? Let's see who else has jumped in here. We've got Boss in the house. Hi, all. Good to see you, Boss. We've got MVS Crypto as well. Morning, family. MVS crushing it out there on X social platform. Man, getting hundreds of thousands of views on his post. So big shout out to MVS. Keep up the great work, man. You're going to be a huge influence on X. If you're not following MVS, give him a follow. There we go. We got Tom Boss as well. Only thing looking good these days, Titanx and coins on it. Yeah, that's right, Tom Boss. That's why we're covering it. You guys know on this channel we were early on runes and early on BRC OICs. We were early on ordinals. We've got to keep an open mind in crypto. That's what it's all about. Keep an open mind and searching for value. Doesn't mean that you don't back the things that you love, like Pulsechain and stuff like that, because you know it's going to have its day in the sun. But you really got to keep an open mind and look for value, right? You only get bull markets like what, every 4 years or something. So you got to make money where the hay shines, or whatever it is, or make crypto where the hay shines, or something like that. So just remember that. Don't get emotionally attached to things either. You got to remember to take profits. That's your only job you have to do. That's take profits on the good projects. Yeah, that's it. That's it. You don't want to ride down the chart down the other side, do you? We got Thomas says, got to tell these ETFs to stop selling. Yeah. Well, you're going to get, as we get all that money coming through, Bitcoin, Ethereum ETFs and stuff like that, you're always going to get the big boys playing the field, just like they do in the stock market onto crypto. But I'm still very bullish about October to the Christmas, particularly after the US elections, especially if Trump wins, and of course into the new year 2025. Going to be quite epic. I think it might have if Trump wins in particular, going to have a very long bull market there. Obviously, if Kamala Harris and that win, then we're in trouble. We're in bigger trouble than just crypto. If those communists, fascists get the control of this, it's going to be a pretty nightmare. So yeah, we're going to have bigger problems if that's the case. So fingers crossed, Trump wins the election. All right, so let's get into the rest of it. We're going to jump into Pulsechain, and we're going to go through the charts, see how they're looking. So let's go back here. Bam. All right, so Pulsechain on day 483. We've got Pulse at the moment, quadruple 0321. It's pretty much flat, so that's kind of good news. Holding up pretty nice, like it's at 32% mean sacrifice price. So holding there above 3,000, pretty much flat today. Pulsex also flat today at quadruple 0157, just above that support level of 1,500, 1,400. So holding nicely. And we've got the buy and burn at 970.1 billion. 4.81% of public supply is currently burned. So Pulsechain actually holding up against the onslaught sell-off today. Incentive token, $1.43, pretty much flat at the moment. And the total supply of incentive tokens, 41.4 billion incentive, million, I should say, incentive. And Hex there at just under 3800th of a penny, down 3%. EHEX at 1/10 of a penny, that's down a little bit, isn't it? So we've got the combined price is at just below 4800th of a penny. We were sitting at about half a cent for a little while, a couple of days. We were just obviously weakened off there, down 3%. So that's really the only loser. Actually, INC is actually up a little bit. INC is sitting exactly on the borderline there at 44,500. You guys know that's the bottom of the channel. So it's sitting right there in that channel. Now, speaking of this for day 483, we've got PulseX returns. Now, I wanted to highlight something. We've got version 1.09, right? So I think it was version 1.07 where we got the big update with the stable swap coins. That is that improved mathematical mechanism for getting low slippage and efficiency between the three big stable coins, and that's been operating pretty well. We've also got the yields. The yields are still looking pretty good on the PulseX, and look at that, 11%. And we also got Hex Pulse 20%. 29% for incentive Pulse and 25% for INC Pulse X. The bridged in coins, DAI, USDC, and USD Tether versus Pulse, 49%, 43%, and almost 50% respectively. So the yields are looking still fantastic in the Pulse X farms. And we've got Wrapped ETH versus Pulse at 32%. So everything looking pretty good. Now, we've had some changes, right? We've had some changes here because with the upgrade, and I didn't talk about this the other day because I didn't actually look at it. but we've had a lot of the multipliers have disappeared, right? All that stuff that was multiplier disappeared. Now we've got APRs in there. And so, yeah, things have changed on here. We also got this weighting number as well. So we've got all those weightings. Look at that. So in there as well. So a few little extra changes we didn't talk about the other day on the farms. Now, if you guys know, go to liquidity. The new big update was these stables, right? So USD Tether, USDC DAI, and of course those are the pools there. And people, basically big players come and put funds in here, and there's a little fee that they earn, right? So a little fee. How much is the fee? Well, the fee is 0.04%. So if you had a large amount of money, you can have that very safe place to park your money over on Pulsechain and earn that little fee there. And of course, having these three coins together kind of creates its own sort of stable coin, right? So that's kind of pretty neat there as well. All right, total LP supply 257 now, 1,000. You can see that there in terms of LP. Total supply of LP tokens in the stable pool. All right, we can also go to info and we can click on stable as well and see the results for that at the moment. So not bad. What's it? 258,000 liquidity. It's definitely gone up, and 560,000 in volume, over 500,000. So not bad there. You can see the breakdown here at the moment of those stables, and the LP there is volume's looking pretty good. LP reward, well, the fee's still pretty low because it's a low fee, but $112, and LP reward 5% there. Not bad, not bad. On that one. So that is kind of that on look, there it is there, ticking away. So yeah, 5% reward on the old LP. All right, so kind of cool. All right, just wanted to cover that quickly. Let's quickly look at the rest of Pulsechain. We've got gas prices 642,000 beats. So we've got a bit of a rocket here going at the moment. It's not normally, that's normally about 100,000, 150. We've got 7/10 of a penny for a Pulsechain swap at the moment, so a little bit more expensive than normal. Looking at the validators, we've got 48,500 validators, 1.55 trillion pulses staked with the validators. And of course, with the price of pulse at the moment, good time to become a validator, right? If you want to become a validator, you can use validatorstore.com from David Feder. They're dominating 71% of the validators. He does all the hardware and software preset for you, so it's a good place to order that. And of course, the bridge, 87.3 million, so we're down. If I remember rightly, about 1.6, maybe 1.6, 1.8 million from yesterday. I think we were sitting at 89 point something, so we're probably down about 1.6 to 1.8 million from yesterday. So not to be, ETH's down and Wrap Bitcoin's down, so no surprise there. EHEX is down, so no surprises there. Still sitting at 27 million on DAI, so that's pretty good. All right, so that is pretty much it for the results for day 483. I guess we'll be starting day 484 soon. And PulseX yields still looking pretty good. Let's jump over to some of the big movers. We had PDAI and USDC, USD Tether, the three speculative pegs or speculative dollars there. They are up a big time. So we've got PDAI there at 31/100th of a penny, 16/100th of a penny for USDC, and just almost 13/100th of a penny for USD Tether. They're up 29, 27, and 23% respectively. So really nice moves here on the speculative stables. Even LUSD managing to edge out of 13% as well, although the burn has kind of disappointed, hasn't it? It's kind of disappointed on there. Let's jump over to the Pulsechain overall. And if you have been watching me for a long time, I'm kind of simplifying the coverage on this at the moment. Well, we're covering Titan X because Titan X is really taking off at the moment. So we're looking for value, right? And of course, at the moment with Pulsechain, you can just accumulate because it's the prices are really low. Potentially, the bottom is in September. We still have the court case in October, so just take that as a note. But it's a very good range of accumulating at the moment on the old Pulsechain. 10.8 million in volume today, so it's much better than yesterday. I think yesterday it was about 6.8 million or something. So we're doing better today. 344,000 transactions, so a little bit of uplift on the old Pulsechain today. And the volume, and we got green candles in quite a few tokens. So it's a good day in the office for the old Pulsechain. 56% on Affection token. We've got this one here. I'm not sure what this one is, but it's got a couple of lines. BFF, it is up 40%. DieHard is up. Now, DieHard's up because it plays reflection tokens in PDAI. PDAI is up, of course. So that's up 37%. DWB, the meme coin, up 22%. Crow, the meme coin, I think it as well, up 20%. Pika as well, I think it's another meme coin, up 20%. Teddy Bear, another meme coin there, backed by Moon King, influencer and all that, up 90%. So there's lots of different ones going up here. Peerless Miami, haven't seen this one before, but that's up as well. It's 11 months ago. It's been around for a while, but it's up at 19%. Tangang, Orange Man Good is up 17%. Pine is up as well. So there's lots of gainers happening on Pulsechain today. So hopefully you guys with your portfolio are enjoying that a bit better than in the past. UFO is still up 11%. PDRIP, the ROI protocol, is up 10% as well. SolidX is up 5%. So there's some of the gainers. Nice to see some, decent volume. I'd like to see volume over 25 million. That's when we're probably starting heading for an uptrend. But we've got much better volume today, much better transaction level, and a lot more coins are making some nice gains over the last 24 hours. So that's got to be pretty good, right? It's got to be pretty good. All right, let's see where we're going here. Let's jump over to Hex and quickly talk about that. It's day 1741 on Hex on Ethereum. And of course, we're waiting for day 1740 results, and of course, the old Pulsechain as well. Now, we're going to look at yesterday's results. We had 7.8 Hex per T-share for Hex miners on Ethereum, and we had 7.249 Hex the day before on the old Pulsechain there. So obviously, today's results are not quite out yet, but we'll cover those probably tomorrow when they come out, because this takes a little bit longer than when we're ready for it. So just the way it goes. All right, that's pretty much it for Pulsechain, Pulse Gains. Now I'm going to be setting up a step-by-step through these sections when I get my transparencies right for overlays. So that's coming soon. Let's see here. What else we got? We got a few more people in the chat. What else there? Let's see here. We got Brian said that house got sold. I'll find another. Oh, it was so cute, wasn't it? The house. Boss says hi all. Hey, good to see Boss. I think we talked to Boss before. We talked to Tom Boss as well. We got Pineapple in the house there. Superman, good morning to you. We got hello Hex Token, everybody from Sandy Beach. Absolutely crushing out there with the health and fitness. If you haven't followed Sandy, give her a follow because she's covering health and fitness to keep yourself healthy while you're making your mad gains in crypto. We got UFOologist as well. Hit the like button. Definitely smash the like button also. Now we're going to get into our Titan X ecosystem now. So I'm going to have to swap over the presentation. So let's pull that up and go for gold. We're going to start off with Titan X, of course, on the chart because it's absolutely doing incredible. Woo! Yeah, that's me. That's me there, right there. That's what do we got there? I've got to add that in. So there we go. I've been enlarged. How about that? Oh boy, what are we doing? We don't know what we're doing. We're all over the place. We're all over the place today with the studio. Anyway, so it's becoming a comedy show, isn't it? Pretty quickly. All right, let's just slow down here because we're going to take our time going through Titan X. This is our third topic of the day. And of course, we've got Titan X chart here. It came down with the rest of the market. This is the daily chart. Let's go to the hourly. You can sort of see that it came down with the daily chart. But man, it was absolutely rocketing. So on the daily, it went up to yesterday and went up to 7,500. So 7,500 on Titan X. This is on Ethereum now. So we've moved to Ethereum chain. And then, of course, we got the big sell-off that just finished. So this is a brand new candle. It's about half an hour old. But yesterday's candle closed at 6,300. So we went down a bit there, down 14%. And currently we're at 63,580 with 6 zeros, right? 3.2 million volume. Pretty crazy. So yesterday, we kind of had volume kind of flipped. Even Pulsechain had more volume on Titan X ecosystem than Pulsechain, which is pretty crazy. But it's on Ethereum, right? So there's a lot of money on Ethereum, and the sentiment on Pulsechain is, accumulation sentiment at the moment. All right, so that's kind of where we are there on the old Titan X. Now we're expecting huge things to come out, right? So let's go full screen, and we're going to get into the roadmap coming up. This is exclusive to this channel. We're streaming on Hex Token channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X, over 10,500 subscribers. So definitely get on and subscribe today. Tell your friends if you love Titan X content. We're doing detailed. I don't think anyone else is doing overview. You might get project teams out there doing projects or this or that, but we're doing full coverage of the ecosystem as it grows. As far as it's going to get so big, though, eventually we'll have to cut it down because Titan X ecosystem is going to be absolutely ginormous on Ethereum. It's basically taking over Ethereum, really, if you think about it. When people look back on a bull market, they're going to be talking about Titan X and the ecosystem that was creating millionaires out there, right? And you guys are still early. I think you've still got maybe a week tops to get really in at this level. The pullback today was a bit of a godsend if you wanted to get in. It is giving you another little entry on the pullback. because things are going crazy good, right? So we got the Inferno open at the moment, even with the price down. Inferno's open. So what's this going to be doing? It's going to be taking tons of supply off the market. It's going to be absolutely mega huge, right? So let's have a quick look at that Inferno, and we're going to go have a look at the website. Let's pull it up here on and have a look at what it's taking in. So it's removing supply from Titanex. So that's huge. So let's think about what the Titanex supply is. Let's go have a look at that now and have a look where we are. So we're on Titanex website now. We can see the supply of Titanex liquid is 58.7 trillion, 58.7 trillion Titanex. And of course, Inferno is taking tons of it. So as you guys know, we're currently just started day 3 out of 7 we've got 7 trillion candles coming. And we've just 3 days the way through that. We've got 4 more days after this, and you can see that on the website here, June report. And you can see at the moment we've got these 5. We had 7. We've got 4 left, and we've got the current day here, right? So we're expecting 1.11 trillion today, and then we've just started this candle here, right? So this candle here will be 1.27 trillion. So we just started on that one. And then we're going to get through these trillion candles, and it's going to drop off, right? Drop off. We have very little inflation left. So if we go to the 90-day, you can see that once we drop off through these candles here, 4 more left, then we're going to drop right down to 395 billion. And then we've got these 2 big candles left. That's coming up the 15th and the 16th. And then, of course, we drop right off there. And then we've got our last week of trillion candles. And then it's deflation there. We've got hardly anything being added to the network, right? So that is a pretty big deal. So we're going to have that future supply, which is in the chart here, plus we're going to have the existing supply, 58.6, and whatever gets burnt or sunk in the protocols, that's what we're looking forward to. And at the moment, Inferno is kicking it off there. It has got 13 hours and 27 minutes to go on cycle 7 every week. It comes open with the cycle 7 a cycle where you can actually mint Inferno using Titanex, and so that Titanex goes into the buy and burn. And it's pretty exciting there, right? So kind of cool. There's currently $900,000 in the buy and burn, 1.4 trillion Titanex. And of course, if we go down to the results at the moment, we've got 4 trillion Inferno has been minted. 46% has already been burned, and it will continue to be burned over the week ahead. We've got 1.9 trillion Inferno burned, and that is 46% of the supply. Deposited, we're at 4 trillion 845 billion Titanex. So it's a huge amount of participation, and it's still got 13 hours there. You can see in the top here, actually 13 hours and 26 minutes to go. Now let's do how much has got through there so far. Let's have a look. So we had 4 trillion 283 billion when we started, and now it's got 4 trillion 845. So let's get the calculator out and have a quick look at maths just to show you how bullish this is. I said to you, I wouldn't be surprised if it did 1.5 to 2 trillion. That is massive supply reduction on a Titanex. So that would be absolutely epic. And that's the first opening thing for Titanex for September. It's going to be massive, right? So let's take it. We've got 4, 4, 8, 4, 5 minus 2. Make sure I get this right there. Sorry, 4, 2, 8, 3. That means that we've got 564 billion so far through it, and that's only what what's that? 6. That's 6 and that's 10 hours through, right? 10 hours through, and we've already had that much going through. So 562 billion so far. So we're heading very well on track for my target of 1.5 to 2 trillion, and we know that we have a rush at the end, right? A rush at the end. Now, the rate at the moment to get in is 0.7 Inferno. So one Titanex gets you 0.7 Inferno. And, of course, that's been performing very well in the charts as well. So, yeah, it's going to be fun to see that. What will hit 1.5? Remember, week 4, we got 330 billion. Week 5, we got 700 billion. And then week 6, we got over 1.1 trillion. Today, cycle 7. What are we going to get? 1.5 to trillion. That's a massive amount of Titanex off the market. I cannot express that enough. It's really doing a great job. The timing couldn't be more perfect as well as we head up towards HYDRA coming out. Yeah, it's going to be pretty epic. So 13.5 hours left to go. Now, if you guys want to mint Inferno, I'll post the link in the chat here. Inferno. Mint cycle 7. Remember, after this, there's only one more cycle left. So remember that. So, yep. Let's have a look here. Let's get rid of that little letter there. So if you want to participate in that, you can. Inferno Mint Cycle 7. Now, if you want to get any more details, jump into join our strategy club. The link's in the video description or in the chat there. And of course, that is $35 a month. But multi-chain opportunities, we're looking for the big stuff. We have constant intel flow going into that strategy club. So well worth getting on it. So that is the Inferno Mint if you want to participate in that today. It's only 24 hours long, this auction. And of course, then there's only 1 week left to get Inferno next week. And the rate will drop, right? So the rate will drop from 0.7 that we've got here. Where's that number? Where'd it go? 0.7. Here it will drop for cycle 8, which is the last cycle. That's in a week's time. That will be 0.65. So you get 0.65 Inferno. Now, what happens between that time? Well, the burning goes on, right, and pushes the price up. And so it raises the ROI when you go to mint, right? So we can see the ROI mint at the moment is 3%. But people know that's going to keep burning the price up as it goes through the week. It's got a particular buying schedule, and you can check the docs for that. So if you want to go check the docs down here, it'll give you all the tokenomics. It's right there, that link there. Just click on that, and it will open up the docs. Pretty easy, and you can find out in detail how everything's working. Remember, do your own due diligence, all that good stuff. So that is the Inferno doing spectacular, 560 billion right now. That's excellent. That is really good. All right, so that is where Inferno is playing a big role. So supply of Titanx, yeah, we've got a lot of inflation. We've got the last really big amount of inflation for September, but cycle the Inferno is really taking a lot of that off the market, taking the heat out of that additional inflation. So really, really cool. Coming up, of course, on Monday, we got Legions, Titan Legions, the LGNDX or Legion X there token going to be dropped with the NFT technology. So you're going to be able to swap that and play that around as well. Now, there was a stream on with Mo today with that team, so you can check that out. That's with, was it Rudy, I think it is? Yeah, Rudy, who he's the founder of JakeX and also Titan Legends. So big shout out to Rudy. He was on Mo's if you're going to go check it out. There's a lot of details about LGNXD, DX there. But we're going to have a quick look at it. So let's bring that up here. So I've talked about Inferno. Let's go to Titan Legends. So this is the big update today. I'm going to post this in the chat if you want to find out the basic details, but you can also read the white paper. White paper's out as well. So Titan Legends. And this is going to be launching on Monday. So there will be an opportunity to pick up a supply off the market as well. So remember that. There's going to be a chance to do that. So let me paste that in there. And this is going to be launching. So this is pretty popular. The NFTs have been pretty popular. So you can get into that. Let me post the link. Bam. All right. So that is the link to Titan Legends and the LGNDX. So it's going to be an NFT and token airdrop. So they're going to be matched together. And if you stake the NFT, then you can get the tokens. If you put the tokens in, you get the NFT out. And they're going to have sort of that sort of bidding thing. So we're going to get into that in a minute. Who else have we got jumped in here? We've got Wookie in the house there. Oh, good to see you, Wookie. And we've got SPL as well. H-Bar in the house. Oh, good to see SPL. All right, so this is the launch. So launch announcement. Without further ado, we are pleased to announce that we will release the second installment of the Titan Legends journey this Monday, September the 9th, and between the hours of 3 p.m. UTC and 5 p.m. UTC. So it's going to launch anytime in that window. Please read the details below to ensure you are informed of the LGNDX launch and battlefield commencement. That's some of the jargon that you're going to have to get used to in the Titan Legends there. On Monday, there will be a 2-hour window of time between 3 and 5 p.m. UTC, which Legend X token and the battlefield can go live at any time. So if you want to get that early advantage, maybe pick up some of the the Legend X, we'll just call it Legend X there, token, then you'll be able to do that in that early hours. If you want to get some early access to that, it's a really good opportunity. The Telegram will be locked during this time to avoid scammers from pasting fake contracts. When the liquidity pool for the token is formed, the contract address for the Legend X token will be posted and pinned in the Telegram first by only Rudy, who's the developer. Within seconds, minutes, the website and X accounts will be updated with the contract address as well. Please be vigilant. No one from the team will DM you first and no one else other than Rudy will post the correct contract address for the Legend token. The Battlefield details stats page and updated marketplace UI will go live at the same time as the token, so you'll be able to use everything near immediately. Dragon X hybrid NFT listings will be available at the time on our marketplace, as well as the OTC over-the-counter trading in Titan X. So exciting stuff. It's going to be using Titan X too. When we then will announce the token contract, lock the LP, and update deck screen and banner as quickly as possible. Within the Battlefield, users will be able to either lock their Titan Legends NFTs. So if you're wondering what the Battlefield is, you'll be able to lock your Titan Legends NFTs. I know many of you in the Discord have some of those. So that's what you're able to do in the battle, and claim their bounty of Legend X tokens, right? So that's the way. Or users will be able to purchase the Legend token from Uniswap, so you'll be able to do that if you get in early, especially if you watch early. And of course, the earlier you get in, the potentially the cheaper you get in. So it's just going to be interesting there. And pay the ransom to purchase any NFT from the Battlefield. So you can get those Legend tokens. If you don't have NFTs, you can go and purchase them from the Battlefield anytime with Legend for the liquid floor price, or simply just hold and trade the token so you can speculate if you want to. Simple 2 green button operation. Please be aware of the early claim burn. That's very important, right? So to avoid dumping of the token, they got this early claim burn and exemptions by reading the white paper link here, along with everything else you need to know regarding the protocol. This is an NFT exemption checker on the site to double check the exemption status of the token. So basically, if you're going to go and dump, you've got the NFT, you're going to dump the tokens. They've got this big burn thing to prevent you to doing that, right? It's a pretty massive, like 53% the first day. So we probably won't get that much dumping if you can think about it, depending on the holdings and what people want to do. If you want to avoid that, you can just go and buy the Legend tokens on the market, and then go buy the NFTs, right? That's the other way of doing it, and then watch the price go up, right? Because it's all linked into Titan X and the rest of the ecosystem. So if it's successful, it will keep going up, right? It's a pretty good mechanism, actually, the early claim burn. Launching market cap for the Legend token will depend on the exact price of Titan X at the time of the launch, which will be $100,000. Okay, that's the launching market cap. How many X's can it do from there? I mean, you know how JKX meme coin has done extremely well. How big will Legend token go? Will it from 100K? Will it go to 2 million? Is that a 20X? So that's what I mean. If you want to really try and get a good early advantage, you're going to have to watch this like a hawk. I did post the link, as we say, in the chat there. So if you want to follow this along, get in the Telegram, and you're going to have to follow pretty closely. But there could be a nice, easy big X's here. Obviously not financial advice. Do your own due diligence. But there's lots of opportunities when they start the market cap at 100K. We're going to be sending out 50 community airdrops as well within the first week of the Legend X token. So they put a little allocation of tokens for community drops to increase the community and engagement. Token being live, so make sure you have your green circle on your profile. As you guys know, green circles there are really important for the Titan X. And the other thing you want to say about that is that you have to get that from the Titan X website. You have to go to share, and you can make your own profile there and then put it on to X. That's pretty much it. Now, the final question for you Legionnaires: who will be brave enough to lock their Titan Legend into the battle? In other words, lock it away and you get your tokens. And who will be the most courageous to receive Titan Legend back from the mighty, and I'm not sure what that is, Wormflight there. So that is pretty much it on the update. Pretty cool. 2,900 views on that so far. And we've got some good replies here. Oh, this is awesome, guys. Been looking forward to this, etc. Airdrop ready. So kind of cool. So that is really neat. And of course, we go to the docs. You can read the white paper and get all the download on that. And so you can read it all through. I'm just going to highlight quickly the early claim on here, because it has this early claim bonus there. And it starts off at 50% plus 3% for the standard burn. So when people are trading these into the Battlefield, these NFTs, you're basically swatching between the token and NFTs. Each NFT holds a certain amount of tokens as well. And of course, if you're getting that allocation, if you've got an NFT. And of course, if you don't have NFTs, you have to buy it on the market and buy an NFT kind of thing like that. But early claim is 50% plus 3% standard burn. So it's got this buy and sell tax pretty much on the NFT to token transfer. And that prevents, with 53%, it means that people are really not going to dump the token very much, are they? Because they're such a big penalty day one. It's a very cool mechanism just to reduce the sell pressure on the token and allow it to go up and to the right. So kind of cool there. The rest of it you can read yourself, including the Legend token overview. You can read all that, the Battlefield there as well. And so fairly simple. I'm sure they're going to make a more simple diagram eventually, but it is a fairly simple thing to understand. 3% of the legend from the transaction is burned forever, so they will be burning the token through the activity on the marketplace, right, with the Battlefield NFTs being staked and swapped back to tokens and back and forth. New buyers coming in, of course, from the legend market there. So that's kind of the way it works, and you can check out all the rest of it there. Now, I think there was one other thing I want to say. Yeah, so point system effectively distribute the legend token to Titanx legend holders. If you're holding those NFTs now, we developed the point system to determine exactly how many tokens each type of NFT will get. And of course, you got the breakdown there: Fire Breathers, Legendary, Ghost Dragons, Baby Dragons. It's got the token allocation for respectively for those. So that is pretty much it. So you probably want to check your wallet and stuff, or check your NFTs and stake them into the battlefield to get those airdrops. So check that out. I'm hoping to have Rudy on these channels at some stage in the week ahead. So fingers crossed on that. All right, so I think that's it on that one. Looking good. Pretty much a new kind of approach to NFTs and tokens, so I like it. I like it a lot. All right, let's scroll back up here. That's kind of a quick overview. Didn't want to get too much deep dive into that. So that's kind of cool on that. So that's the Legends ones coming up on Monday. So you can see September is going to be absolutely lit with projects. And then potentially we've got the Ouroboros protocol moving to testnet next week. So that's exciting. And then maybe we'll get it in late September, second half of September, we'll get the protocol launch if the testnet is pretty successful. They will have to take their time on that. So we're saying early September, but who knows with the stablecoin, issuing stablecoin, the rest of tokenomics. So they did have an update here on Ouroboros. So they're actually explaining the way it all works. So a really big update there if you want to find out. Number one, multi-collateral out of the box. There's a big one. So number two, extreme MEV mitigation. So we've got lots of cool updates there. Fully decentralized, cross-chain enabled. USDC X, the stablecoin, will be able to follow X28 as well. So that's Jake's next big project potentially in October. Conclusion and summary, we're out of the early adopters phase and into the expansion phase. Ouroboros is poised to be a big part of the expansion and a real source of what will make ORX, which is going to be the main token there, and the bonded Titanx take off the market and the stratosphere materializes during the next build. So pretty cool. So that is coming up for Ouroboros, and I think it's going to be pretty exciting. You can read all the posts there on that one. I'm going to do a bigger deep dive into this. This is kind of just a highlight that this is coming, right? So the release of the Ouroboros and ORX token and the USDX stablecoin is the real first major DeFi project, maybe apart from Titan Legends there. Going to be a real big deal, I think, on the old Titanx ecosystem. So it's good to see DeFi adding to the ROI protocols, which is, basically Titanx is kind of the holy grail of that. So that is it. So let me post that in the chat. We've got Rodford Patrick in the house. Morning, Superman. Hope you're doing well there, Rod. So this is Ouroboros. It's a difficult name to spell. I wish they'd chosen a slightly different name, but there we go. Is it Mexican or something like that? I'm not sure. We don't really have many Latin Americans down here, so I'm not really familiar with that too much. I think I'm saying it correctly though, Ouroboros. So that is kind of it. Let me just post that, and you guys can see the name in the chat there. That is the link there if I look that out. So it's going to be probably the first major DeFi in the Titanx ecosystem, and could be launching by late September, if not early October, maybe, if the testnet goes well next week or so. So kind of cool. I will be covering that in more detail on another live stream. So that is pretty much that coming up with the Ouroboros. We're obviously on 13th September, we've got the Inferno cycle number 8. So if we do 1.5 trillion, say today, then what we will do on cycle 8, who knows? It could be even more. We shall see. But then, of course, we've got HYDRA potentially coming out next week, and that's going to be huge. And we're waiting for the white paper, right? So we're going to try and see whether Eric's put that out. It is apparently imminent with that white paper, and looking forward to that. Mike Dean apparently will be doing a diagram on that. So if you're wondering how that works, that's coming up. Now, HYDRA's going to be major. Well, this is a Jake Sharp project, and of course, it's going to be bullish for Titanx and DragonX, and of course HYDRA itself. Yeah, we could get 10 trillion or something like that Titanx going through this project, something in that ballpark, plus or minus. So it's really going to be a big project, and of course take Titanx off the market. So we've got Inferno taking Titanx off the market, We've got HYDRA taking Titanex at the market. You're obviously going to need Titanex and Titan Legends for purchasing things. And of course, we're going to have Ouroboros coming up later on too. So you can see this thing starting to ramp up, right? As we move later in September, we're going to have Volts, we're going to have Felix, we're going to have Flux, we're going to have Pulsar. That's all moving forward for September. We've obviously got the Vortex Hyper. That's a third buy and burn coming in for Titanex. So that's going to remove Titanex off the market as well. So you can quickly see Titanex is going to be pretty removed a lot of the market. And with September's the main inflation month, then it's game on, right? Game on. We've got Hyper D, 96D payout there as well, a 96-day payout. That is just for September, and obviously we've got tons in October and November, and moving into the new year of projects. So pretty exciting there. All right, so that's kind of a highlight there of the Titanex. So let's have a look at some of the others. We're going to have a look at DragonX price. We're looking at the best performers. Actually, Helios is the best performer now on the 24 hours. Just got a big pump. So we'll look at Helios before we look at Titanex. Helios there is up today, so up 16%. Not bad. Nice little move there for Helios on that one. Moving to DragonX, the second best performer of the day at the moment, only down 3.8%. The key mark is that it's back up at 88,000. Remember, it lost a zero yesterday. It got all the way up to 4 zeros. It actually lost a zero, 1,153. Looked fantastic. It's very exciting to get over zero. And if the market hadn't really come down today with Bitcoin and all that, with the employment news, we probably would still be consolidating a bit higher. Anyway, we have managed to bounce pretty nicely. We're sitting at 8,800 with 5 zeros. So we lost that zero again, but we're pretty much high and getting a lot of support there, I think, at this stage. And obviously with HYDRA coming out, it's going to be bullish for DragonX. So we're going to burn tons of DragonX, right? Yeah, so we're good. All right, so that's looking pretty good there. It's a leverage on leverage on leverage, right? So HYDRA leverage on DragonX, DragonX leverage on Titanex. So HYDRA is probably going to be very well sought after. Probably get a lot of recycling there, and yeah, it's going to be pretty huge. Could take absolutely tons and tons, $10 million plus dollars off the market. It's going to be pretty exciting to see. All right, so that's where we are at the moment. Market cap 47.5 million on the old DragonX, and we're waiting for the white paper. We're going to check out with Eric to see when that's coming, but very excited about that. All right. Now we're also going to have a quick look at we'll cover DragonX a bit more. So next best performer is Baby DragonX. It's only down 10%. Hyper is down 10% as well. Hyper is for me undervalued, so we're going to be looking forward to that to get revalued. Obviously a lot of supply is being pushed out quite far, like sort of 70 to 88 days, but there are earlier candles before that, and we've also got about we've got the big payout, stakers payout. It's got about 68 billion in there at the moment. That's coming out there as well. Titanex, we talked about that. JKX, the meme coin. Obviously, Titan Legends, same founder, Rudy there. That's sitting at 1/10 of a penny. So that's been absolutely spectacular. So what will Legend X do, right? Look at this. What's happened with JKX. What will Legend X do? I mean, my goodness. It's starting off $100,000 market cap. This is pretty crazy. This is up 42 days. It was up, almost 20,000%. So what will that do? We shall find out. Market cap just under $1 million at the moment on JKX. And if the other one's starting 100K, maybe we'll start to climb a 10x on that. It's at least a minimum 10x from the looks of it. And that's a much bigger project, right? Titan Legend, in my view, this JKX is a meme coin, but Legend X there, it's a bit of a game NFT DeFi project. All right, so kind of cool. Inferno at the moment, we talked about that. It's down 15% at the moment, but obviously the buy and burn's going to, the burn's going to continue into the next week after the Inferno closes. And then we got the Blaze as well. It's down 54%. So Blaze, the big mover down, was the big mover up yesterday, but got pushed right down there. So you can see yesterday had a big push, got up to $2.50, and now back at $2.26 at the moment. So big volume candles there. I don't know why it says 54%, but anyway, that's what it says. All right, so that is it amongst the leaders. Let's jump over to the Titanex Hub. Obviously, we've covered quite a few of these projects. We've got tons of projects coming, and I just showed you that in the Titanex chart. Let's move over to let's go back. We've got to go back because I just realized I got to show you the Hyper. Hyper mining at the moment is a great opportunity, so take that into account. You can find out more details about that in our strategy club. Links in the video description for Discord. Join up today. And of course, we have a look at the Hyper miner before we move on. The yield at the moment, even with the pullback in price overnight, is 310%. Woo! Hot dog and a dog. I think we were up at like 370 yesterday. So we're at 310. This is spectacular, honestly. And so, yeah, you can, a good time to get in early mining now. If you want to find out strategies, hit us up in the strategy club in Discord. There's a private club, multi-chain opportunities. But yeah, we've got some details around potential strategies there for HYDRA. So there we go. The buy and burn. So as people put Ethereum into HYDRA, remember HYDRA is going to require Titanx, but HYDRA is requiring Ethereum. And is let's have a look at the buy and burn. We've got almost $1.4 million. That's with the ETH coming down, right? So we're still at 1,374,630 in ETH. So ETH is coming in by country mile into HYDRA, sorry, in HYDRA. And if we go look at the strategy there, HYDRA burns has also burned 6% of its supply in 10 days. So HYDRA is really doing a great job there. So looking fantastic. I think it's 4,000 ETH have come into HYDRA altogether, and we've had a big rally since about mid-July in terms of ETH coming in. So it's been really, really good. All right, so yeah, we are going good. And of course, on the 19th, we've got the Vortex going to operate, right? 19th, 20th. We've got 337 ETH in there. That's going to be our third buy and burn for Titanx. So it's going pretty good. And of course, the buy and burn for HYDRA there currently 800,000, almost 1.25 trillion Titanx in there. Pretty exciting. And of course, the Titan Vortex balance is continuing to fill up as well. It's got 200,000 in there, and that will happen on the next 96 day after the ETH buy there. But that ETH buy is going to buy Titanx, right? Whereas this one here has already got Titanx in it, and that's going to buy and burn HYDRA there. So 8%, remember, goes into the Vortex. So it's going to be fun to see this out. And of course, basically, HYDRA is a version of this, but it's going to be for DragonX, and it's going to require Titanx rather than ETH. And we know that back when HYDRA launched, a lot of people wanted a Titanx, like a version where you use Titanx. Well, that's going to be used for DragonX. And man, DragonX is going to get pretty rare. That's probably why the price of DragonX holding up so well with 5 zeros, 8,800 at the moment. Going to be pretty epic. So there we go. Lots of people mining and the leverage play, right? X's on X's. That's the play there on that one. So you can, want to talk about strategy, get into our strategy club. We can get into that. All right, so that is Titanx at the moment, and let's get into Jake Sharp. Talk about Ouroboros as well. So this is the updates from Jake Sharp over the last sort of 24 hours, or at least the last 8 hours. So yeah, he says I've seen a lot of Solana people asking about the Titanx and a build on a Titan ecosystem in the last 24, 48 hours. What sparked the interest? So that was pretty cool. Let's see what people were applying on there. All the hard work community. So everyone talking about Solana there. And of course, we've got X28 coming, right? It's going to be multi-chain. So it's going to be really huge moving forward. Larry Davis here, greatest asset class to ever exist. We're sick of this market manipulation. And of course, yeah, that's where Titanx comes into play, right? Let's see. All right, let's jump through some of that. All Titanx holders right now, that's 12 hours ago when the market was pumping, obviously dancing on their own there, feeling pretty happy about themselves. The Green Army, of course, everyone's getting these green things. It's really great for marketing. And of course, yeah, everyone's got it. Even I got it, right? So you can get that on the Titanx website under the share tab. So just get on the menu there. Folks from other communities are saying their feeds are bombarded by green circles. The flywheel is ready to spin, absolutely. My guess would be that HYDRA has the chance to be the second highest Titanx burner in the system. First will be X28. I'm kind of expecting that in October before the 369 payout to stakers, which is around $6 million or so. Second is HYDRA and HYDRA tied. So obviously HYDRA crushing it right now, and to get them to do miners at the moment on HYDRA, get those X returns, fantastic. And then HYDRA coming potentially next week, right? With the white paper, could be out today. In fact, it might be out now. We're going to see in a minute. HYDRA deflates Titanx and DragonX at the same time. Very, very powerful, right? And of course, we know the bulk of inflation is going to be out by the end of September, particularly the 5th of October. And of course, it's just downhill pretty fast from there. And so with the INFERNO and HYDRA and all these other projects, just getting rid of Titanx. Remember, Titanx is the medium of exchange. So if you're a bit overwhelmed with all the projects on top of Titanx, then just get Titanx. That's pretty much it until you learn a bit more about the other projects. 20% of Titanx to DragonX Vault locked and restaked forever. And then 20% of DragonX bought off the market is burned. So there's a little bit of alpha there from Jake. Kind of cool. Let's see here. What else? I see a lot of new people asking about HYDRA and why they should give up their precious Titanex to participate in HYDRA. Here's only one benefit you could gain from participating in HYDRA. Here we go. And he gives a really good rundown. HYDRA has 3 buy effects, which will push up its price 3 times. In theory, what that means, I'm glad you asked. Here's a visual representation of the price hierarchy. So HYDRA on the top, DragonX on top of Titanex. That's pretty much it. So HYDRA there being a third layer protocol in that sense. HYDRA to DragonX to Titanex. And of course, they'll be greater, right? So HYDRA is a real leverage play on DragonX, DragonX leverage on Titanex. If someone wanted to participate in HYDRA, they have to build Titanex first. Now, you've got to buy Titanex first, of course, assuming they don't have Titanex miners coming in. Now, since we agreed on that, HYDRA is greater than DragonX, greater than Titanex. And then first buy, right? First buy Titanex, push the price of Titanex up, push the price of DragonX, and push the price of HYDRA up. That's the logic. Second buy, second effect, the percentage of Titanex by DragonX, push up the price of DragonX, push up the price of HYDRA. And then third effect, the percentage of DragonX by HYDRA, push up the price of HYDRA. Hence, you gain 3 times upside potential by participating in HYDRA as opposed to just holding a Titanex. So that's why people will be going big time into that. I can't stress this enough. This is the only one benefit. I'm not talking about the compounding effect that you can utilize by multiplying this Titanex bag. You wouldn't even need to wait on Titanex to do 1,000x to make life-changing gains. Absolutely. So there's a lot of opportunity in here. All right, so that is kind of cool. Cool little post there. Let's jump over to, looks like we've got another build on Titanex episode that's coming up. With Titanex, it feels like we've crossed over the event horizon. The economic energy backing is immense. It's going to be fun to see it play out, honestly. It's right here, right now. I reckon you got up to a week really to get in at this price level. It's going to be hard to get in after that. Price up, price down. Hyper burns 6% of its own supply in the last 10 days. So Hyper's doing really well. And HYDRA is coming out next week. This system is just going to go crazy. We've got INFERNO at the moment taking maybe 1.5 trillion possibly today, plus or minus. It's just crazy how this is happening. Really, really good. All right, so we're going to scroll to some of that. Yeah, and 20%. So someone here is putting in this about the HYDRA miners. People buying Titanex to create HYDRA miners for next week potentially. HYDRA locks away some Titanex and buys them both by DragonX and HYDRA. So that's from Jukes there. This buy pressure on Titanex leads to Titanex price shooting up. HYDRA miners ROI shoots up with Titanex. And so, yeah, and 20% of the Titanex, says Jake, puts the DragonX vault effectively burning forever and feeds ETH staking payouts back into buying Titanex via the wrapped ETH Titanex pool. So some nice little intel there from Jake there about an hour ago. So that's all the updates from Jake there at the moment. So super bullish on both obviously Titanex, DragonX, all the ecosystem, but particularly HYDRA at the moment. Hyper, sorry, I should say. You need ETH for that. And that's a real leverage play on Titanex. And of course, HYDRA next week, you'll need Titanex for that. That's a leverage play on Titanex, DragonX, and of course, HYDRA, right? There's a leverage play. So kind of cool. That is that. Let's have a quick look at DragonX founder Eric. See what else he's got here. We're going to scroll through some of these pretty fast. Go through like that. Let's go through all these. It's going to be on stream with Marco the Hexkin tomorrow. That's coming up. Mad gains, of course. Everyone buying. Market was 10. This is 15 hours ago, of course. Let's go there. Hyper going hyper. It absolutely is there. Hyper for Titanex and HYDRA for DragonX is kind of the quick summary if you want to think about it. Let's have a look through some of these. Let's go here. Yeah, white paper. This is what we're waiting for at the moment for HYDRA. HYDRA white paper will be released shortly. We haven't had any updates since that, right? So that's what we're waiting for, is that update on the white paper. So this was 9 hours ago, so we haven't had it actually delivered yet, but fingers crossed. Now, if you haven't joined the HYDRA Telegram, it is ticking away there. It's got 1,070 members. I know they wanted to get to 1,500. So if you do want to join the HYDRA Telegram, get in early on all the intel, then that's definitely the way you should go there. So HYDRA Telegram, join today. And of course, if you want further intel, get into our Discord strategy club, and the link there, $35 a month, really great value. So that is it there on HYDRA Telegram. Bam, bam, bam. Tom Boss says HYDRA seems like it will be great. It will be very, very good indeed. I think it's going to be pretty spectacular. So that's it from Eric. Now we're going to post that white paper in the strategy club when it comes out. So you'll be able to get that. And I'll probably be I'll be reading through the white paper probably tomorrow, hopefully, if not earlier. All right, so that is pretty much it on the Titan XX system, really showing resilience. And it's just, man, it's going to do things unbelievable. So it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that for the last topic of the day. We're an hour, 4 minutes in, so we're doing pretty good time. It's going to be Zen. So we're going to look at Zen in a minute. We've got no other comments, so let's get straight into it without further ado. So Zen at the moment is sitting at 8,355 with 7 zeros. We see yesterday, 2 days ago, had a big pump, got to lost a 0 and went to 1,092. Got sold off with the market dump on Ethereum and everything else. And it got pushed all the way back down almost back to where it was, but now it's back up at 8,300. So it sort of bottomed out at 7,000. It's currently at 8,300 at the moment. And this is probably looking even more bullish, right? Why do we say that? Well, X1 chain, right? And we're expecting there to be a Zen burn for that at the current moment. We know that X1 is technically ready to launch. We know that Jack's been working on the legals, potentially on partnerships and maybe other fundings. And of course, the chain is going to be absolutely the first fork of Solana. It's going to be absolutely huge with the technology built in the IGN layer and everything else that it's got, DEX and all sorts of stuff. So it's going to be absolutely amazing, super fast, of course, as well. And we're seeing a lot of updates from Jack Levin on his X-Place around Zen block mining and Sol Zen mining there. So everything is looking really, really good. The wallet, of course, in play is kind of the last leg of that. So yeah, maybe this is going to launch in October. Somewhere like that. We got the last of the main inflation this month as well in September. We do have Zen NFTs coming out, throughout next year, but I think the bulk of it for the time being is kind of out this month. We're waiting for Zen.pub to give us a new outlook on the future inflation, or what they call the global mining ladder. So we're waiting for that too. But yeah, pretty exciting. Nice little upgrades here. So this is from Jack. We've been getting some bullish stuff around adding not only Zen blocks on the EVM chain, but actually adding the X1 wallet, which is the SVM wallet there. So yeah, this is going to be pretty awesome. So people have done it. I've done that already. Other people have done it. And of course, you can actually check your address there. You'll have the Zen block with the EVM address, and you'll also have the SVM X1 address. So we're getting closer to the X1 launch. ZenBlocks Explorer now integrates X1 associated address. More info on how Zenium will be used. So Zenium is what happens when you mine regular blocks using ZenBlocks. I've covered that before. Yeah, it's exciting. You're basically pre-mining the X1 chain's coin, which is going to be called XN. So yeah, it's going to be used to mine X1 to come out soon. So this is really bullish, this statement here. More info on how Zenium will be used on X1 to come out soon. So we're going to get update on Zenium use. At the moment, we understand that it's going to be used to stake. And so if you're pre-mining it, you get to stake it, and then you get the reward will be XN coin, the feed coin for the chain. So that's kind of the big bullishness there. You can see you can you register your Ethereum, and you associate your X1 address, and that all comes together and it gives you the rank. So very excited where that's heading. Yeah, really cool. So this is all moving forward. 20 hours ago, it's time to register your X1 a compatible address. So people have been doing that, and this is a really good step forward for X1 chain. So it's coming. And that Zen chart here, let's have a look at it on the weekly. This may not last long, right? Is now obviously Zen is one of the ways to get XN coin for the launch of X1. Obviously Zen block mining is another one. Solana or Zen Sol Solana mining as well is another one there, although that's probably almost finished in September. So yeah, we also have the Bitcoin the Zen block halving for Zenium is coming up on the 16th. So we're only 9 days away from that. So if you want to get 10 block rewards for that per regular block that you mine, then you've got to start now, right? And do that. Now the alternative is to try and buy in the market, and we'll see what the price is when it launches. We know that Jack wants to do it on the lower end, but we will see whether it actually lands, whether it's better to pre-mine or better to buy. You take the risk, of course, on buying, but there we go. All right, so that is where we are there at the moment. So that's pretty much our Zen update there. Must be getting close. Technically, it's ready. He's been doing a lot of partnership work. He's been doing legal work. He's now doing the wallet and the tokenomics of the final two keys. The tokenomics will be around allocation as well, the allocation to existing tokens on the 13 different chains. this thing could be huge, and we're going to be looking forward to it. Certainly banking it for a winner this bull market, and this chart may very well be the end of the bottom is in on Zen, and maybe in a week or two it just takes off, especially if we get those announcements around allocation and burn parties and things like that. So keep an eye out on that. If you want to find out more details, join our strategy club, links in the video description, and we welcome you into our crew, as it were. All right, I think we're going to end there. That's an hour and 10 minutes. Pretty good show today. We're covering all the cool stuff there with the potential for huge X's, 10X's, 100X's, and more. It really is a great place to be. So much happening, and you guys are on the frontier of crypto and DeFi, and it's a lot of fun. All right. So, okay, enjoy it. Take care. I'll see you guys on to, am I streaming tomorrow? I probably won't be streaming tomorrow unless something, big happens. So I might just stream, but other than that, I'm going to take a day off, and I'll see you the following day. And we may have some interviews coming up as well with Titan Legends, Deb there too. So Rudy, so stay tuned. All right, take care, and bye for now. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell, and share the channel around. Really does help. All right, let's close down, and I'll catch you in the Discord. Bye for now.